Hi, Sifuboggie here once again, and welcome to the Way of Conscious Mindfulness, a weekly podcast and YouTube show discussing spirituality and science, balancing health, well-being, and mind, body, and spirit with a Daoist twist. Dao means the way, the path, the balance. So it's finding your way, your path. Now, we are not the normal type of show, surprise, surprise. Each week, we have either a subject or a guest. This week, it is a guest. And our aim is to have an open discussion to help us all find new skills, new techniques, new balances for our own Tao. As I said, now, normally, as I flip the paper over the camera, very unprofessionally, normally I have some co-hosts, but the co-hosts are missing in action at the moment, so they may appear while the broadcast is happening. So this week we have Robbie Mackenzie. Now, Robbie Mackenzie has been called an aura healer and intuitive. Now, he will explain what that is in a second. So we've been having a little chat to me and Robbie, and I think this could be a quite exuberant show. So hold on to your ears, because here comes Robbie. If I can find the button to turn him back on. And here he comes in 5, 4, 3. Turn on your mic, Robbie. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Boggie. How are you doing?
I'm awesome, especially because you're here. I am very awesome.
Nice. It's a blessing to be here. Blessing to be here.
So, right. So let's go on from the inset. So, what is a aura healer? What is an intuit?
Well, I mean, I suppose just it's an extension of what we can all really do. You know, when I first opened up, I never realized a lot of the time when you're feeling other people's thoughts, you think that they're your own thoughts, but it's actually your thoughts, you know. And the healing journey for me started when I was still a muggle. What I mean is before I was consciously on the path, you know, definitely trying to consciously develop myself, you know. And the healing journey actually started with a toothache, right?
Okay.
I had this really bad toothache. I was on a holiday, right? I went away and I had a week's holiday in Pontins in North Wales, right? Massive big hole in my tooth and really miserable, really sore, and I must have been a misery guts, right? And I could feel it. You could stick your tongue in the hole in my tooth. So sore, so painful. The whole week I couldn't get an appointment with the dentist, right? So I was like, what am I going to do? So on the way back, it was a bus trip, right? So, you know, you buy books for the bus trip, and I'm reading this book, and it's called The Superhumans, and it had in it about this psychic dentist in the 30s in the Depression in America, right? And he used to go around all the people that didn't have enough money for a dentist, and he used to slap them in the cheeks and say, "In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, be thou whole." And he would slap them in the cheeks, right? So I'm on this bus, and I'm like, oh, really? I mean, I was proper pain, yeah? So I'm like, you know, in the name of the Lord Jesus, you know? And I just kept reading the book, yeah? I just kept reading and I just forgot about it. And we got back up to Paisley, and I noticed that I didn't have any pain anymore, you know? And I couldn't feel the hole in my tooth. And I said to my ex-wife, my wife at the time, that pain's gone, you know, and I can't feel the hole. And I was a pure, proper misery guts for the whole week, right? And she's like, well, keep the appointment with the dentist, because I'd gotten an appointment for the Tuesday after we got back. That was the only appointment I could get. Couldn't get an emergency appointment, couldn't get anything. And I kept the appointment with the dentist, and the dentist looked, and this is the only dentist that had been in my mouth for like 5 years. Mm-hmm. And he looked at the tooth and he says, that tooth's been heavily filled. He says, I don't know what it's been filled with, but it's a really good job. And he was like this born again Christian. And he was like, yeah, that was a healing. That happened, I was like, what? So, because this was in my mouth, it wasn't to proclaim anything to anybody else. It was about me. You know what I mean? It was to convince me, So for the next years after that, I became a Reiki master. I did all the different stuff and became a medium and became an aura healer and an intuitive healer, a distant healer. And now we're actually doing healing holidays. I've been asked to do 2 healing holidays, the end of July and the beginning of August in Ibiza for 2 weeks. So it's like it's made a progression from developing my own healing to the mediumship to the distant healing, and now we're going to be doing it like in retreats as well all over the world, so exciting stuff. So that started my path, because I couldn't like for years after I told that story and everybody was like, what? Yeah, really? But it wasn't about convincing anybody else. It was about an experience that I had myself. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the whole of spirituality. I think it doesn't matter what tradition you're in, or whether you're Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy, or whatever your original story is. I think it all boils down to there's being told, and then there's the way. And that's what you're all about. It's about the experience of it, because there is no point if you can't have practical application, because then it's just woo-woo, or it's control, or it's trying to make people do what you want them to do. Do you know what I mean? It has to be experiential. So that started my journey. And I'm like, well, I don't need to come from a place of faith, because that's there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was verified. It wasn't like as if I'd just gone, yeah, that happened. I got it verified with a dentist, and he was like, yeah, that happens. That's faith healing. I was like, huh?
Right, I'm going to stop you for a second. Firstly, are you on the microphone? Because I can now hear feedback. Or have you got it on YouTube?
I don't. Just the link that you gave me, Boggie.
Sorry?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, sorry, I was talking to you, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm just on the link that you gave me on the MacBook.
Yeah, no, I can hear it. Can you put your earphones in, just to because I can hear the feedback. We're getting a little bit of feedback. Yeah, that's changed your. Unfortunately, it's changed your microphone a little bit, but we'll work it out. Don't worry.
Problem.
Right. So, yeah, I know you're right. So. She's appeared by magic, as always. It's the wonderful, it's the lovely, it's the ever so awesome, it's the can I find her and can she turn the microphone back on? It is the wonderful Michelle Infinity. Good evening, good afternoon, Michelle.
Yeah, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Yeah, I'm grateful to be here and
Cool.
be with our guest who has this awesome accent. Where are you from?
From Scotland. Nice to see you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm in Spain, but I'm from Scotland.
Even better. That's amazing.
I was going to say, my first question is actually to Michelle, and it is, do you need a translator or are you okay?
I think I'll be able to roll with it. I'm not, we're going. But I was listening. I was like, wow, that's wild. And I can't place it, which is really interesting,
I can
but yes.
Californian if that would help you. No.
Whoa, weird. Whoa, that was weird.
I'm a voiceover artist as well, so I can if you need a little bit of help, But I'll stick to the Scottish. It's a bit diversity,
That's so cool that I noticed your voice and you're a voiceover artist. I work with the voice as well, and that's like coming up a lot for me. So maybe do you have a thing with that? Like, is that a part of your alchemy?
I've got representation. I've not really done. I've had representation for a couple of years, but I've never really done much. And just mostly in my own stuff and whatnot. But I trained. I trained for 4 years. I'm an actor, trained actor. I did it.
Good for you.
I gave all that up when I became a medium.
I totally relate with that. I completely, because I did acting when I did children's theater, like from 6 to 12, and then I was in the Renaissance Festival for years.
I had a kids class from 5 to 15-year-olds for 5 years.
Oh.
On a Saturday morning, I used to lecture in drama for 5-6 years in Reed Care College in Paisley, you know. So I know, I understand, yeah. I think a lot of sensitives do that because you have to get out yourself to get into character. You know, I think that helps with the meditation. I think that helps with the, you know, seeing things from another person's point of view, you know.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, well, I think we've all, because a few movies, a few little bits on movies. I was in a roller skating show that was going to be like WWF.
Wow.
And
awesome.
so I think there's. Sorry,
I said that's awesome.
Yeah,
it was. It's
very
called Roller
cool.
Wars, and guess what? Because it was a live show. We're going to get told off, by the way, because you and I, Michelle and myself, got told off because we spent 16 minutes, or I spent 16 minutes last show talking about totally random stuff before we actually got to topic. And I've already been told off. So I know I'm going to get told off now, but I don't care. Yeah, I did this. I just very quickly, I did this show. It was a roller hockey show. Well, cross between roller hockey, basketball, and WWF.
Yeah.
And so the show itself was live, was real, but we played characters. And guess what? I played the part of an escaped lunatic. You know, that was really hard for me to do.
Not Boggie.
What I've got to quickly say to Michelle, it's awesome talking to Robbie, because where Robbie's in Scotland, there's actually a town called Boggie.
Yeah.
I've got my own town, and it's in Scotland. So, but anyway, before we get told off, let's breathe. And so, Michelle, have you got for the wonderful Robbie?
Let me channel a question real quick. Sure. The first thing I was going to say is that the wild energy between the two of you that I'm tuning into is that Boggie just mentioned that I'm an escaped lunatic, and it's like the wild man energy. But I didn't do research, you know what I mean? So yeah, like if you guys want to talk about the kinship that you guys are vibrationally that I'm seeing right now between the both of you.
Well, see, you know, there's. There were people I can go, yep, I feel there's something about you that you and I are bouncing off each other already, like we've known each other quite a while. Yeah. And it's quite interesting for the audio, for our podcasters who won't be able to see Robbie, but if you actually, or if you've looked at the books, Robbie has, I hope I'm not offending people with this saying, but Robbie has an Oriental look about him. He's quite Japanese, and he's got a cool little moustache and beard, and the hair's back, and when he smiles, the eyes just go ever so slightly Oriental. There's that slightly, and there's an interesting thing with that we'll go to in a minute. Now, I've always had this thing as well, is that people think I'm slightly Chinese because I've always smiled with my eyes, and there's always been this sort of Oriental flavour to me. And yeah, there was definitely something between you and I bouncing off. But the reason I brought up the Japanese thing is because there's something about your guide with Japanese, isn't there?
Yeah, I've got a samurai guide. Yeah, the first guide that I really understood, that I had really when I first went into circle, and I recognised the patterns actually of feeling this guide from when I was a kid. From like early on, the actual feeling of this guide coming through, because like I'm a trance medium, so it's, you know, it's kind of deep trance work, but the feeling of the different essence, I remember it from like when I had whooping cough, and I had like different like illnesses when I was a kid. Like when it was touch and go, if it was really bad fever or something, I would feel this presence kind of protecting me. And when I first went in circle, and when I first connected to Yushubi, I felt the same presence. Although I wasn't ill, you know, or I didn't have anything wrong with me, you know, but it was protecting me, you know, it was helping me through whatever it was that I was going through as a kid, you know, really comforting but strong, you know, powerful presence, but really gentle. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, there's
samurai,
a big,
you know?
Yeah, and there's a big thing in the samurai stories, samurai legends and stories, and the Chinese, of some of the greatest heroes were very poorly, as very frail, poor children, and they got through. They became these great mighty warriors.
Yeah.
And now the interesting thing is, when you study theology and you study, the stories, you see this over and over again. It's actually part of the hero's journey. You have this down, you have this suffering that you overcome and become this great thing. So there's a great presence, like the Scottish energy is a great warrior energy as well, very proud and very we're here, come on, bring it on.
I would imagine that if you didn't speak English or Japanese and you heard a Japanese person and a Scottish person, you'd probably think they were speaking the same language, Hey, 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 Shut it, you wee so, whatever.
It's all right. We can lose our PG rating for you. It's all good.
Sorry, I never swore, did I? I never.
No, I know you didn't. But it's that's another thing. The Scottish people are, maybe throw in a few swear words every now and again sometimes, but it's all good. So yes, so that would have been really. So when you're channeling him, is it just the words? Is it you're saying that presence? Are you feeling? Do you feel that difference? Do you feel that change? Do you feel that sort of?
Yeah, it is. It's a bit. It's when I first started in Circle, very quickly, within 6 weeks of starting of understanding what deep meditation was. I felt like I was being put on like a glove.
Wow.
They started with the energy starting through me, and I started doing all these head movements, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. What's going on there? And actually almost like a puppet, almost like what I would do maybe in like a drama class or something like that. But it wasn't me that was kind of voluntarily controlling it. It was like dual controls on a car when you're learning. It was kind of like that, and I just let go of the controls, and then I stood up, and sometimes very early on I would hear like a phrase. I would hear some phrase repeated over, and I would just let it repeat, because it's like, is that me saying that? And then I would let it repeat, and sometimes early on I would let it repeat for a long time, maybe 5 minutes, but it kept repeating and kept repeating and kept repeating. And then I would just repeat it. And then as soon as I repeated it, I would keep talking. And I would just keep talking. And it was like, I'll go for a coffee. I'll let this guy take over, And then I would record it. And then I would transcribe it. And it would always make sense. It was like, and I would forget it. After I had done that, I would kind of forget what I'd been talking about. But as I was transcribing it, I would remember having said it. And then it's all in context, and that's what my books are. I'm actually only writing my first book now. I've got 4 books that are out that are a complete course in Ascension, but I'm only writing my first book from my perspective. The 4 books are actually deep trance channeled. I did a 79-day fast for the first one, and I did 40-day fasts for the other 3. And just to purify and to kind of empty the vessel, if you like, and just let them come through, So it's you feel the presence of it, it's pure love as well. When it's the angels, or whatever you want to call that, I call it angels. It's an extension of your consciousness, obviously, because we're all one. It's like all centered in the oneness. But you feel it. You feel it's a very deep change of energy. Do you know what I mean? I don't have the thought of, I'm going to say that now, or I'm going to say this now, or there's no inner dialogue to me saying it. It just kind of comes out, Yeah.
That's beautiful, that whole process. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I took a trance medium class back in the day. What came out of me, all the people, I kind of freaked out all the people in the room because they saw alien on my throat instead of like a Boggie, you're not surprised, I'm sure. But they were like, we saw like an alien face, because all I would do was put my head back and then they would see like an alien here. But I'm not really a medium. I wouldn't say I'm a medium at all.
I think we're all mediums. I think we're all mediums. I think we're all mediums. I think everybody is. I think this whole concept of a special being, or you can do this, you can do that, and you're I think we all can. And I think it's about the level of our commitment to our surrender to our spirit. And I think that's it. Full stop. I think everybody's a medium, you know. Yeah. And I think we inhibit ourselves by saying, I'm not this or I'm not that, or, you know, try everything, you know, and what you feel more comfortable with, or what you enjoy doing. That's the thing that you'll excel at, because that's the thing that you'll be passionate about. Yeah. And it's as simple as that. Not just for mediums, for everybody. You know, for everything. For everything, for ice skating. You know, for ice skating. With me, it's pool. I'm a pool player, like American pool. That's my thing. I can play pool all day, you know, and I'm really good at it as well, only because I've had so much practice, because I love it, you know, and because I'm really proficient at it because of the practice. But everybody, that's what, there's too many people, the whole world, we're in the wrong jobs. And when we're in the right jobs, we'll end up making a living with it. You know what I mean? We'll end up going forward because we'll be in our passion. That's what Ascension's all about. It's about us being authentic. It's about us lifting ourselves into what am I excited about? You know, what resonates with me? You know, but I think we can all do everything.
Awesome. I think one thing that Michelle picked up on is you and we have that same resonance of passion when we get very exuberant with our movements, and we get very excited, and our voices get very excited. And
you're wild, man. Is what you are. You're wild, untamed. And I just pulled a card like that I was just like about that untamed energy, and I'm realizing, and it's something that I'm becoming more in my own alignment, in my own power, stepping into that more myself.
Wonderful.
Learning it at the same time, balancing with humility, because you have only to be completely in that. You also can't make a big deal about it. So it's an interesting juxtaposition, but that pure passion, wildness, like allowing yourself to be untamed and like just like try a little bit of everything. Who says you're not? You know what I mean? Don't put limits.
You know, funny enough, like the universe talks through everything, and you had Jim Carrey just a few years ago did the Yes Man, or the Yes movie, and you know, that technique just, you know, for a period of time, just keep saying yes. You know, do you want to go scuba diving in Australia? Yes. Do you want to go? You want to go ice skating in Alaska? Yes. Yeah. Oh, heck yes. And so on and so. But it's that, you know, just try stuff, because you know, the one thing is, you don't know what your passions are until you do them.
Exactly. And you'll find out very quickly if trance mediumship's not your thing, you'll know anyway. You'll be like, I don't fancy that anymore, you know. But I think you could do it though. I think that's what I'm saying about the actual ability. I think you could do it if you had the passion for it. Yeah. I think you could. I think it just depends upon how interested you are in the subject.
Yeah, I truly believe that, Robbie. That I feel like yourself, or you know, how I say it is, everything is technically a skill. Yes. You know, everything is a skill. You know, from you know, a mediumship to painting, to rock climbing, to cake making. They're all skills, and you know, you can technically you can learn anything.
I agree.
It's whether you've got the passion to keep it going. So you can learn the basics of something, but whether you've got the passion to actually excel in it is down to you.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. That's what it says in the Clarion Call book as well, because it's about it's practice. If you because everybody is one. We all come from the same spot. We all come from, it's like the flower of life and the Merkaba within it. And you're an individual Merkaba. You are the center of creation. We are all the same. We're just the same being having myriad different experiences, but it all comes from that center place. And anybody can get into that place, because that's who you are. That's your center place. And all these different stories, all these different, you know, everything, Buddhism, Catholicism, you know, Jainism, Taoism, they're all the same thing. They're all just a different way to explain the center of your divine essence, and how you tap into that. To me anyway, it's the Merkaba, and you finding out the technicalities of it. It's practice. That's what it's got in the book, you know. So I agree, you know. Even with spirituality, they say, like, some people are the Dalai Lama, this lineage, and all these different people who maybe are at different stages of their spirituality or their path, but they're just the same thing. It's just the same being. It's just they've got the knack out to do it more, or they've done it more, or they've practiced more, if you like,
Yeah, indeed. Now, I want to ask a question, and then I'll let Michelle ask one. For me, like the macabre, until a few years ago, I would talk about the macabre a lot, and a lot of people going, didn't understand it. Where did the macabre come from you? How did the macabre come to you?
Well, it was Metatron. Like I had the year that I said to you, I told you about the first of my healing journey that made me interested in healing. But the year that I actually changed my life, basically, I was in I was lecturing in Reed Care College, and there was a big scandal and whatnot that happened with the family that of my ex-wife, and we at that point it was either make or break. So I ended up I lost my job, I split up with my ex-wife, and I moved in with my mum. And then I was going to start my acting career down in London, but then my mum got cancer. She got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then which was it's a fairly treatable form of cancer, But then we found out she had lung cancer as well, and then it was like chemo and radiotherapy and all the traditional things that you do. And then she ended up passing away, and 6 weeks later my dad died. So in this time, I just couldn't be bothered with the stage anymore. I just was like, acting can just beat it, And I got all spiritual, and I came across a macabre meditation, and I did it very quickly. I opened it, and very quickly I was channeling Metatron, and I was being told that I was going to meet my twin flame. I was told I was going to channel these books. I was told I was going to do all this thing. And this was years before all this happened. I was told, and this part of the book that I'm writing just now, it's about that path moving forward towards it. But when you open your macabre, when you actually discover it's not just an esoteric woo-woo, it's an actual real thing that actually is a reality that anybody can actually open up. You move between the dimensions. The multiverse is infinite, and there's many different realities, or there's infinite realities, and you can move through them. And why would you not want to be interested in that? Because not only can you move through these different realities, but you can change your own reality. And you can change, and this is what everybody's moving forward towards just now. There's the raising of the vibration that's happening just now. I think it's about people learning how to open that energy, and it's hard to explain really, because it has to be experiential, and that's why the book, The Clarion Call, and just taking you through the steps of opening up the heart energy. It's all about love. It's all about our center. It's all about recognizing the sacred geometry of existence, really, and coming to that place of that oneness, so really powerful. So that's how I came to it through just life events that brought me into a place where the superficial was like, well, I'm not interested in any of that. I'm not bothered about being famous or being, do you know what I mean, doing like building my own ego up. Because the fulcrum of what I believed was my life had gone. You know what I mean? So I was like, it has to be divine. It has to be something that is worth doing, or what's the point in being here?
Indeed. Michelle.
I know. I was listening, and I was like getting in the story, and I'm putting up my altar, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to ask a question. And I had one before, but now I'm kind of like, wow, that's like, I'm almost flabbergasted by like, that's so.
Okay, I'll be honest. I was actually almost brought to tears. You know, I've had lost friends and whatnot, but to hear, you know, hearing about your mum, that actually brought me to tears. Like, you know, I almost, you know, that closeness of, you know, there was something about it. But you know, it is. In the old Daoist fables, there is the bigger the down, the bigger the up. Is that you go through these learning experiences. You know, is that, you know, this is why, you know, some of the hero's journey, which like one of our old co-hosts would talk about, even Collins, in the past, is you know, these things you go through to get you up to the point you need to be, and you know, there's like at 9 years old, I had this realization of sorts, is that you can have anything you want in life as long as you're willing to pay the price. And the price, you can't choose what the price is. The price is whatever it is. And sometimes the things that happen are happening because they're paying for that price. You know, and that might, for some people, that may sound really harsh or really, you know, like cold, but things, you know, and you can learn from it, or you can suffer from it. And
I do have a question to understand your story, because now I was like just processing it. So all in a year's time, had you divorced and you lost your parents?
Not yet. I asked for a simplified divorce. I just gave her the house. I just said, you have the house, you have everything. The material side to me was just, you know,
I'm talking about losing the marriage.
Simplified divorce, like they only take 6 weeks. Actually, I didn't realize that as well. If you're willing to, if you're not going to argue about stuff, you can sign away your marriage and within 6 weeks.
Wow.
You know, and I was kind of like, you know, that's a whole other story as well. The year that I got married, the day that I got married, my dad said to me, you know, in about 5 years, if you change your mind, it's okay. And I thought, what a weird thing to say on your wedding day, right? And it was almost 5 years to the day that we separated. Because my dad, I didn't know until the last year of his life, but my dad had been in circle. My dad had been in a spiritualist circle. I knew that he went up to the church, but I didn't realize that he'd actually been, you know, developed to be a medium. And he said that to me, and it's almost it was uncanny. It was 5 years almost to the day. And I was like, whew, you're spooky.
That's so good. And then what I was going to ask was, what was reborn in you? So what do you feel? Because as we go through these deaths, we also are like, so you spoke about, so that was this transformation. And then like, I humbly say that I feel that I have a connection to Metatron as well. Through definitely Archangel Michael. My name is Michelle, but like Metatron has always carried a certain weight for me. But I'm tuning into the relationship that you have. It feels like with these forces that we call angels, we all have our own individual, unique relationships. Like you'll have a wild man, you know, who you are, vibrational relationship, and I'll have like indigo ascension teacher. So I'm wondering, what was Phoenix rebirthed in you from the experience that you had of the death, and then talk about your relationship with this archetypal force that is Metatron.
Well, I agree with you completely. I think that's the whole thing about channeling as well. I think that's why they get me doing all these fasts and cleanses and, you know, like praying and meditating and all that for so long, to clear the filters as much as possible, to let a pure message come through. Because I think I see it as the office of Metatron. It's the office of the Christ. It's the office of all these different things. And everybody can take an office. But it's like the office of the President of the United States. You know, it's going to be a different office with one than it is another. Do you know what I mean? But it's the same powers. It's the same, you know, it's the same energy that comes through it. You know what I mean? It's just about how it comes through your filters and what you do with it. So yeah, it's different for me. If you listen to one Metatron channel, even though it's a different, the same essential energy, it comes through their filters. You know. So yeah, that's with me, because they got me doing really big, long fasts and to get into the place where I was ready. And my personal tradition is Christianity. My grandfather was a minister. You know, he was a minister. He had his own church in Mull in Glasgow. So that was my personal tradition. And just before channeling the Metatron book, even though I'd been in circle for a long time, like years, like in fact, I think it was 2010 when I channeled the Clarion Call. So 2003 that my mum and dad passed. So that's 7 years, a cycle of learning how to do this and everything, and being in spiritualist churches and standing up and doing philosophy in church and all this different stuff. But when it came to actually the channeling of the book, I was held back. I held myself back. And I was like, why are you holding yourself back? Why is this? Because I was quite good at surrendering, to that energy. And it dawned on me, I had an epiphany. It was like, this is because of the tradition. This is because of the name. This is because when you say Metatron and you've been brought up like as a Christian, well, you're used to praying to Jesus. Do you know what I mean? So I was at the point where I was just like, if this is going to hurt one single soul, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I prayed, and I opened the book. This is all in my book. I'm telling you, the whole contents of this book that I'm writing.
Oh, so good.
At the point, just before I started channeling the Clarion Call, I opened the book, and the book was about don't trust the spirit. Trust, trust everything through the Lord Jesus Christ, which is my personal tradition. Right, so I was like on my knees, and I'm like, through the Lord Jesus Christ, like all that, those traditional prayers and the Lord's Prayer and all that stuff. And if this is evil, or if it's a demon, or if it's a negative spirit, of whatever it is, if it's not right, take it away from me. I don't want anything to do with it. And then I was like, the epiphany was there, and then the next day I started the Clarion Call. And I knew that for me, with my own, that's what was holding me back. Because I think no matter how you're brought up, if you're a Muslim or if you're a Christian or if you're a Buddhist or whatever, that's the filter. That's what you've been told from a kid. So that's in there. You can't, do you know what I mean? That's and even the progression of the books, like a Clarion Call, it goes to the healing book, goes to the Galactic Council 1 and 2, and about the wider universe and our galactic brothers and sisters, our starseed energy and all that stuff. And part of that comes through, if you read that, from that's from my personal filter. So it comes through the way that I have experienced what spirituality is. You know what I mean? But Metatron to me is that it wasn't from a book learning place. It was from that experiential place to me. Yeah.
Right, before we continue, another wonderful co-host has appeared, if by magic. So I will bring her onto the show. It is the wonderful, it is the lovely, it is the Mystic Shoy, otherwise known as Sharon. And you should be on... No, it didn't work. Let's try again. The Mystic Shoy, otherwise known as Sharon. There she is. If you just turn on your microphone. Mystic? No, we can't hear you. Turn your microphone on.
Hello?
Yay!
Yay! Okay, guys, so I was here in spirit earlier, no pun intended. I caught it all on YouTube on my phone. So, wild men, so great to be with the wild men tonight. And also, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you, yeah.
And also understand Sifu, Boggie, and Robbie are like soul brothers, so that's cool. Maybe me and Michelle can balance it out and be soul sisters today as well.
Go sisters!
I've had everything you said about Metatron. Yeah. I've had everything you said about Metatron.
They are so ridiculous.
Yeah, we're much cooler than that, are we, Michelle?
Obviously, very much more sophisticated. No, I'm just teasing.
So yeah, so Metatron, carry on. Metatron is so fascinating. I don't know much about Metatron, but I heard that the light ray from Metatron is orange and gold. So I'm like fascinated.
Well,
I want to read your book.
If you're fascinated, it's out on. Here's the plug. Come in. It's free. It's free for 5 days, starting tomorrow on the Kindle. So you can get a free download. If you've not got a Kindle, you can get a Kindle app for your phone or for your computer, but it's free.
My mum's got a Kindle. I'll get my mum to download it.
Perfect. Well, just go to any Amazon. It's in English, Italian, German, and now Spanish. So, but obviously English for you, but just for anybody watching, you know, it's in those languages as well. And it's free for 5 days. So if you download it in that time, it's yours to keep. That's yours. Yeah, you can read it. So,
and
yeah.
I'm sending you the link. Just to jump in, I'm sending the link now onto. It will be on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness on the show. I'll put it on there now.
Yeah.
So, guys, carry on.
Since you've done voiceover, have you thought of doing an audiobook?
I have. I've not got around to it yet. I'd actually, when I was in Scotland, I built a sound box because I found, like, when I got into voiceover at work, very quickly I got an agent. So I thought I built this box and I got it all done, and I was going to do the audiobook and all that stuff. And I was moving forward towards that, but then I met my twin flame, and I emigrated.
We'll talk about that in part 2.
How old was you? How old was you when you met your twin flame?
How old was I?
Yeah.
Well, we've been together for 3 years now, so I was 42. It was just at the beginning of my new cycle, my new 7-year cycle. You know?
Yeah, totally. Your Uranus awakening or something happens when you're at 42. That's amazing.
Yeah. A lot's happened in these years. I've channeled another 3 books since then, so it's a complete Ascension series, actually. Yeah.
And do you feel that meeting her was like a huge catalyst for your own spiritual work? Like that you changed through the relationship?
Yes. Yeah. It's this is another thing. I'm telling you everything that's in my book.
I'm asking all those questions somehow.
Hypnotically tell us.
Twin Flames, Merkabas, and More. That's the book, and I'm writing.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And it's about how we met and how we because we met initially, but she's quite a bit younger than me. She's like 18 years younger than me. And initially I was like, you know, am I going to feel like a father figure? Or, you know, I kind of held her back a little bit, you know, and that pull was so strong. It ended up, it was God, it was spirit, whatever you want to call it, that organized her to come to Scotland on a free trip. But I had been told, like, years before in a channeling, that my twin flame was going to come to Scotland. And so from that channeling, from that point of that channeling, I was kind of looking out like, where is she, you know? But I kept it silent. I kept it a secret. This channel, it's in the book. The channeling's in the book. But I kept it a secret. I didn't tell anybody because there's no point. That's like an advert. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I was like, my twin flame. You just need to come to Scotland. You know. I didn't tell anybody. You know, I kept it complete secret until it happened, because I knew when we first connected, it was like the angels were singing. You know, the conversation was like nothing like it really can really describe it. But I held it at arm's length because of the age difference, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then the way that it ended up working, the spirit just organized it, you know. So that's a whole different story. That's a book's worth. Somebody's going to want to read the book after they've seen this. Like, the bullet points in Boggie's show. So just watch Boggie's show and you'll know Robbie's life story, you know.
Well, that's the Cliff Notes. We'll do the Cliff Notes here for the people. But that's if they want to know more, they can go to the book. Does anybody else have another question? Or I have something I want to talk about with galactic consciousness, but I can wait also if I want to give open. No?
I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah.
Are you sure? All right. Okay. So I have a question about what I heard you talk about when you just to circle back to your story of breaking away from Christianity and religion. It reminds me that a lot of rainbow warriors, as I call them, people who are here to bring intergalactic consciousness to Earth, have these Christ consciousness paths, like past lives where we were very heavily saturated in the Piscean age. And now we like had to crack eggshell open our brains to bring in the new consciousness, which is like this intergalactic universal star seed connecting to the star system's consciousness. And yeah, so if you want to transmit some of the teachings that from that channel, like to channeling, you know, and as I'm saying that, I'm wondering even if you, I don't know if you have, because we're very high speed right now, you know, when we're talking this conversation, but even if you wanted to like bring something through, like since you do trance mediumship, so I'm just wondering if you want to talk about the teachings, or if you want to maybe later.
I'm on part of the deeper work of the Galactic Council books goes into the next stage of our evolution. And I think sometimes the words of these things, or what we have been preached to or told is the truth, or all these different things that come out of books or stuff like that, all boils down to unconditional love. I think that's what being Christed is. I don't think it matters whether you're a Hindu or whether you're a Muslim or whether you're a Christian. It doesn't matter. If you open up unconditional love, Christ energy is just another word for that. So you can call it Krishna energy, you can call it the pure Tao, you can call it whatever it is you want, but it's unconditional love. And I think words are inadequate. I think that's the problem. I think the thing is, getting past religion is getting past words, because when we get past words to vibration, the words don't matter. I mean, the words are the problem. That's why everybody's arguing, oh, your religion's not as good as my religion, my God's better than your God, and all that nonsense. That's about words. That's not about vibration. Because when we come from a place of vibration and we come from a place of love, we're all connected. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who your parents were. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter any of those things, you know. And the galactic thing, because right now I'm on day 4 of a juice fast. And I was told on Monday to do a dry fast, and I've never done a dry fast before, right? I've never gone without like nothing.
No water.
And part of the books are talking about the next stage of our physical evolution as well as our energetic evolution. Is we have, like, not just opening your third eye as something that is, you know, woo-woo or abstract, but something that's real. But within your pineal gland, that you have the ability to access pure divine conscious prana, divine nectar, which is an actual substance that feeds you, that you can live off of. There's this chap called Prahlad Jani, and he said, basically, I've never eaten anything for 70 years. and the scientific community were like, get to, you know, beat it away. Yeah, beat it. And they tested him for 10 days, right, under laboratory conditions for 10 days, and he was under video surveillance the whole time, right? And they did an MRI scan and they did everything, right? And they basically says, there's no way, you're a charlatan, you're going to be shown up as a charlatan. And this old guy is like sitting doing yoga, no problem. There's some water brought in for him to wash in this 10 days, but it was weighed before it came in and it was weighed when it went out. He never drank any water, he never ate anything at all. And the tests after 10 days, and they've done it twice now, the tests came back that not only did he not eat or drink anything, but they found a substance going into his stomach, a liquid going into his stomach that was reabsorbed into his body in this 10 days. And the MRI scan showed that he had the brain of a 25-year-old. But this is scientific fact. This is an anecdote. You can look this up. It's not just something that's, you know, somebody's just saying, oh, this could happen, or because there's a thing, Giri Bala in Autobiography of a Yogi, somebody that lived their whole life, never ate anything. This chap has actually
Breatharians.
Yeah, breatharian. Yeah, but I know, but that's the thing. It's getting over the cognitive dissonance that this could actually be a real thing. And if this is an actual real thing, if this is actually possible, considering that's what it's got in the Galactic Council books as well. 25,000 children die every year from starvation. If there is a way that we can change the way that we take in energy or sun gaze or take in the energy from the universe, those children don't have to pass away from that. Do you know what I mean? It's about shifting the way that our consciousness is, so that we open our hearts to what really feeds us. You know.
Well, also accepting the possibility it can exist, because
Exactly.
I've met the breatharians of India.
Right.
The ones that there was a doctor on daytime TV back in the 90s. I don't know if I should mention his name but begins with H. I don't know if you were about at the time, but there was a certain TV doctor who absolutely went mental about it. You know, really laid into it. But there's medical facts. I've met the octogenarians, they call it in China.
Yeah.
There's a version.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's a version in Tibet, and now these guys do the ones in China and Tibet. They do a heck of a lot of qigong,
Yes.
but they live off of. Oh, camera's got all blurred. They live off of breath and qi is what is said. They're doing the qigong, doing breath work. But one of the biggest things I will have to add is the ones I've met. And for a lot, they lived next to a beautiful lake. They had an ocean a few miles away. They're halfway up a mountain. They've got pure air. You know, they're not got a boss nagging them or stresses and strains. Yeah. So they have mastered these techniques under a certain thing. But yes, there was these tests going on because like at the time I was actually supposed to be one set, the ones in China, I was actually looking after where these scientists were brought in, and I was just making sure that they weren't overly prodded, or I was meant to be their bodyguards of sorts. Yeah. But these guys are the same guys, like in a lake in China in the winter where it was about -10. We did this thing of sitting there naked, sitting next to the lake, and get a wet towel. And they put the wet towel on you, and you had to increase your qi, your qi and your jing, increase it to dry the towel. Now, I got a towel half dry after about 45 minutes, and I thought, and the guy next to me, every 5 minutes, he's getting a new towel being put on him, and the steam, and it's like, yeah, shut up, Boggie.
Yeah. Brilliant. But these are things that are, even though these are things that are being done by mystics, these are things that anybody can do. Look at the Iceman. What's his name? The breath guy.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof. Look at Wim Hof. Look at what he's doing, and he's just teaching that. He's just like, look, you can do this. You can do this with your breath. You don't have to have illness. You don't have to be in that place. You can be in perfect health, you know. But you need to put in the time. You need to put in you need to practice it. You know.
Practice. No. Can we talk about that?
Talk about what?
Talk about practice. That was the thing before we got into that beautiful story that you told about your transformation, about how I wanted to talk about, because that's something that's coming up for me and myself. You know, Anne Hirsch, who was a guest on our show, she gave me and Boggie some professional advice. And one of my things was you have to commit yourself 1,000% to being a healer, to stepping into your life purpose, which is something that I'm kind of like not that's okay. If commitment's like a masculine quality, you know, commitment and persistence, these kind of things, these are things that I am growing into and being asked to embody, but this is apparently what it takes. And especially when we're creating a new consciousness or like a new paradigm on earth, you know, it's not only are we having to do the discipline for ourselves, but like in order to make it ground that galactic consciousness in this earth, it takes a lot of full force commitment. And that is something that karmically I feel that I'm working on to bring those ascension codes. So if you want to talk about that, since it's something that you channeled and obviously have assimilated in your being.
Yeah. I mean, you do need to, I mean, the focus of the books there's a certain practice, and it's important. The way that I put it, I did a post on I've just started a new site, but it's just a wee blog site. But it was about this very thing. Like I have quite a lot of clients, and that will go, will say, oh, we've done all this yoga and I'm vegan, I'm doing the right stuff, I'm praying, I'm meditating. Why am I not happy? I'd rather be doing that. Why can't I do that instead? And I'm like, that's what you should be doing. The meditation and the meditation and the prayer and all that, the different stuff, that's like brushing your teeth. That's like combing your hair. That's preparation for a good life, for doing what your passion is. You should be doing that thing anyway. Or like, after I've got enlightenment, then I can play pool. Wait a minute. After I've got enlightenment, then I can ice skate. No. Go and ice skate. Get into your joy, whatever it is within you that makes you tick, that makes you feel passion, that makes you feel joy. That's got to be number one. But brush your teeth. Do you know what I mean? Do your meditation, do your yoga, lift yourself up, because if it's an effort, if it has, and it will be to a certain degree, it swings and roundabouts. It's what Boggie was talking about earlier. It's like it depends. There is a certain sacrifice that you have to give if you want to reach a certain point in your consciousness. But if that's something that you're lifting up, that would just be a dedication. That's about, how well do you brush your hair? How well do you brush your teeth? Do you know what I mean? How well do you put your makeup on? So these are fundamental things. You're already in that position. You're already a spiritual being. You're already love. You're already God. You're already spirit. You're already.
There's a really lovely quote from Bashar. I don't know if you guys listen to Bashar, but he says, if you really want enlightenment, then just lighten up. Yeah. And that's my favourite quote. So it's like,
that's what's in the Galactic Council books as well. It says, we tell you to juice, we tell you to do yoga, we tell you to do all these different stuff, but it's to bring you bliss. It's if you're doing yoga and you're going, oh, this yoga, I'm going to have to do this again, that's counterproductive. That's not really going to help you. If you're going, these spiritual practices, I can see these far enough, If you're in that place, it's not going to bring you joy. You should go and do what brings you joy, because that's the biggest spiritual practice. That's what you're here for. The thing that makes you go, I really want to do that. I really want to go ice skating. I really want to play pool. Let's go.
The lightsabers.
Let's prove our lightsabers. Yeah, let's make love. Let's make love to the universe. Whatever it is that is our specific joy. Yeah, that's the greatest spiritual practice. It's not going home is important. These things are important for you to get into the core of yourself, because they're who we all are, But what is your individual snowflake that's you, and what you like doing? What makes your heart beat faster? What makes you think, oh, I want to be doing that? That's what you should be doing. That's the guiding. That's what your barometer is. That's your spirit. That's the most spiritual thing that you can be doing. And there are spiritual people, because I say in that blog post about what's his name, Steve Irwin. Remember seeing Steve Irwin with the animals? Yeah. And the passion was beaming out of him, because
wild man. Yeah.
Look at this crocodile, man, he's great. I'm gonna grab him by the backside, right? But you could see the passion coming out of him, and that's the most spiritual that you can be when you're in that place, And it's good to pray, and it's good to meditate, it's good to do yoga, it's good to do all these different things. You should be opening your Merkaba.
Don't forget the heart.
Yeah, exactly. The heart is the core of the Merkaba. When you understand the Merkaba, that's what it says in the Clarion Call. When you understand the Merkaba, you will be doing your passion. Nothing will stop you doing your passion. That's what you should be doing. Yeah. And if you go, oh, well, I don't have the money to do that, I don't have the money to that'll take care of itself. When there's passion beaming out of you, people are automatically drawn to you. They're like, oh, I want to be around that guy. I want to be around that girl. That girl is shining. That's what. And then you automatically, you will be paid for it, or you will get, the material side will be taken care of, because that's just existence. That's the path. That's the path to your massive abundance. Is that joy? That's what Bashar says. Your highest excitement is what he says.
There's another Bashar quote coming on. Hey. There's another Bashar quote saying, circumstances doesn't matter, state of being matters.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Get the vibrations up.
Yeah.
It will all come.
It will come. It will come. It does come. It does come. But you need to trust yourself. You know, you need to trust that path. I like
trust yourself. Trust the universe.
I have trepidation just now because we've been asked to do 2 healing retreats in Ibiza, right? And just like a couple of months before we were asked to do it, I was talking to my clients. I'm saying I'm thinking about maybe giving the readings a wee buy and maybe doing retreats, you know. And then somebody said out of the blue, somebody's like, "Look, I've got this healing business. Do you want to come and do 2 healing retreats in Ibiza?" I'm like, "That's what I'm talking about, universe." You know.
Partying and good times.
See, what people don't get. Meditation, the wording of meditation means to focus on one thing and forget everything else. A spiritual practice is a practice that raises your spirit. Whatever you love, if you love ice skating and you focus on that skating, you're raising your practice, so you're raising your spiritual well-being, and you're focusing on one thing and forgetting everything else. So meditation, you can go fishing and it's a meditation. You can ice skate. I used to say, are we going? I'm going meditating. Where? In Bracknell or in Guildford. What? No, I'm going ice skating, but it's a meditation. It's a qigong. It's an energy work.
Exactly.
And it is, your love.
There's a really good point. There's a good point as well, is that you don't have to feel happy before you do something that you love, just taking those steps to do whatever you love, even if you don't feel like doing it in the beginning, or if you feel resistance, or if you don't feel happy, do it anyway, because it will just transcend, you will go on that journey where everything else falls away. So I think that's a really good point, especially coming from London. It's a little bit dense here, guys. So if you're feeling on the baseline, just remember whatever you're doing, it's going to raise you up really quickly. Yeah. Especially in this time and age that we're going through so many shifts, it's going to really lift you up really quickly. And I'm quite sensitive, so if I can do this in London, you guys can do it anywhere. Exactly, definitely, yeah. And the dense places need that. They need that. I've got a group in New York City. Like 700 people in New York City that go and meditate to the Clarion Call in the Central Park, and that dense place. And that group's been there for 5 years. I've never been yet. I have trepidation about going there, but it's the same thing. I've been in London myself. I know how dense that is, and I think so many friends have left to go abroad. Just immigrated. You're like, hi, send me a postcard. And I've tried all through my 20s to live abroad. I was bolting out of this country all the time, but no, for me, I'm supposed to be here right now. So I'm like, okay. It's going to be London, okay, home.
You're shining light.
I tried to run away, but
Mystic, it's you and me. It's you and me, girl. Exactly the same. There was things that were meant to happen. Originally, I was meant in 1999. My teacher had set things up that I was going to China for 10 years, but technically 10 years indefinitely, and I met somebody about a year and a half before, and everything went topsy-turvy. Everything changed. Suddenly I had a big decision, and I stayed, and we had a child, and that child is my beautiful daughter, and she's 15 tomorrow, and her name is Ketra, which means princess, and her middle name is my first martial art name, which is Taiso, which means big trouble. So she's Princess Big Trouble.
Princess Big Trouble.
That's really nice.
Indeed.
Good luck to you coming on.
But the point was, I was pulled here. I was stayed here, and I had several readings, and all the readings say that you're meant to be here, because your energy is vital at this point in time, exactly where you are. It's so, it's like, I'm Hayes, which is like Heathrow area, and there are a lot of nice places, but I'm notoriously known for being the guy in the hood. I'm notoriously known for the guy going around on roller skates every now and again. The new one, Robbie, I've got stunt stilts. Have you seen? The ones that oh man, it's so good. All my friends are going, oh my god, oh no.
Passion beaming out. Exactly.
Fantastic. And it works. The point is for you, Mystic. The point is that we need it here. We're needed right now. You have beautiful energy, you have beautiful smile, and you light up the room, and you light people up. And I've seen in photographs of yours. You have that energy. You're raising the vibration, and I've seen it before where people have said is that there are
on
light
Facebook,
workers out
everyone's in Thailand. On Facebook, half my friends are in Thailand or South Africa or Bali, and you're like, okay. I want to be there as well. But I love London, and like you said, it feels really soulful to be here. I mean, this is where I was born, so to actually be like, okay, I'm here, guys. It's really cool.
Mystic, you are a Jedi, and you have the lightsaber. You're holding the light in London. That's how I see it. That's how I've always seen it.
Cool.
This is just a metaphor.
Better get my light phaser out then. Better buy my one. Big blue.
I've got a Mystic. I've got a spare. No more.
He's got all the colours.
I'm joining you, Chris, for training. Chris, get back, Chris.
I would like to quickly say, Chris is still poorly, unfortunately. The great questioner. I would have loved to have seen the questions he come up with tonight.
Yeah,
and also,
we're missing Chris.
Also, it has been said that he was missed. He will be missed this week and last week because Chris has got this wonderful way of shutting me up and calming me down. But I would have loved to have seen him try to do you and me, Robbie. Because you and I he would have his hands full, laddie. He would have his hands full.
Oh.
Right, guys, what I'd like to do is I'd like to close down this show, the part 1, and we've gone on a wild adventure. We talked a little bit about Ascension, and we talked a bit about the twin flame, and I think maybe we want to do that for part 2. But so, guys on podcast, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope your ears are okay and not bleeding too much. Please come and join us on part 2. So take care. Bye for now. Love, Chi and Chen from the great Robbie, the beautiful Michelle, the wonderful Mystic, or Sharon, and we'll see you in part 2. Take care. Bye for now.
Thanks for coming.
Right, let me just note, we're still live. All we do is I just note that so I can 9:14. So on the audio, we'll just cut this bit out and then we'll create the new one. So the new one is starting in 5, 4,
3.
Hey, Sifuboggie here once again, and welcome to the Way of Conscious Mindfulness. Now, we have a great guest. I think I found another one of my clan, another one of the crazy warrior clan. We have Robbie Mackenzie here, and the last show was quite wild, quite crazy. I think we went off on a tangent, and these girls had to reel us in. So we
calm me down.
Calm us down just a little. We're going to carry on. So, Mystic, have you a question?
No, I can just see you and Robbie running around a loch now up in Scotland with your lightsabers. Like, let's all do that adventure. I used to visit Scotland quite a lot, and I used to go windsurfing on a few of the lochs, and my parents used to go fishing. So I've got good memories of being out there. So I'll be there.
Well,
I'm not sure where we were, but I did visit Loch Ness as well. But I was windsurfing on the locks that you were allowed to windsurf on, so it wasn't that one. But so, question for Robbie. Wow, so many questions. Let's talk about twin flames again.
Yeah.
I think it's all really timely. You know, there's a lot of people that talk about twin flames. You sort of raise an eyebrow. Yeah. You know, and people ask about, you know, what kind of age, but obviously you've just shown that there is no age really when you meet your twin flame, because as you said, you were, you know, 42 and the twin flame was that much younger than you. So that's what's fascinating, is that it's just, you just don't know. Yeah, but it's definitely something that's spoken about a lot to me and to my social circle. So.
Yes, yeah. I think it is quite fascinating, and I think there's a few different places that you can take it. You can take it from the esoteric point of wanting to expand your consciousness, or you can. I think we're kind of inherently romantic as well. I think we like the idea of the other half of our clam, the other half of our clam being sent to the other ends of the universe and reuniting. And I think we're a sucker for that kind of romantic energy as well. But I think from an esoteric point of view as well, it's not just it's like completion as well. It challenges you to be the best you that you can be. It brings you into there's a certain, it's like the mastery of yourself that's really, really important. And I feel like as if I had a bit of a head start myself, because in coming into that, I'd heard of the twin flame or whatever, but when I channeled the message that said you're going to meet your twin flame, and the circumstances that she was going to come to Scotland, there was
you got head start.
And the different in between the different people that I met, and thought, oh, is this the one? Is that the one? Or whatever. There was never a compulsion for me to leave Scotland. I always, no matter what it was, and even when somebody came to Scotland, and there was what people sometimes call the dark twin, or a dark experience, or a karmic experience with somebody, but that there's a soul connection there, but it's more like a lesson rather than it is.
Yeah, it brings up the healing.
It brings up the healing, or it can be really catastrophic in some ways, and I went through a couple of those experiences, but I never felt the energy that I was going to leave Scotland. I always kept my house. I always stayed in that one place. But when Angelina came, within a week, I was like, see you later, I'm off to Spain.
Yeah, let's go traveling.
Let's go traveling.
Let's give all our stuff away. Charity.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
downsize.
Exactly. Let's
van styling.
Here we go.
In the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Out the road.
And my spiritual work accelerated as well. My spiritual work and the tantric work that we did together as well. You see tantra and you think about Sting and puffing and panting for 10 hours,
Yeah.
It's not. It's mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual connection. Do you know what I mean? It's not I think that's the problem. I think with Christianity and some of these religions, that it's like as if they've got like that sexual connection, something that's dirty or bad or evil or something. Whereas it's one of the most natural. We wouldn't be here without it. But bringing it into a spiritual, bringing it into a spiritual context where it's mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual growth, and you're being. My guides also say, even more so now, even now that we're together, don't connect onto each other, connect onto spirit. And when we disconnect and when we detach from each other and we connect onto spirit and our higher self, whatever you want to call it, God, whatever you want to call it, we're magnetically, it doesn't matter what, it pulls us together. So the advice, and this is another thing that I'm writing about in the book, is about, people are saying, how can I meet my twin flame? What is this my twin flame? Is that my twin flame? Don't connect on your twin flame. If you want to connect on your twin flame, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to connect onto your spirit. You want to connect onto what your joy is, what your passion is, what your ice skating or whatever it is. That's the path that you're going to meet them on. That's the path that they're walking too, because that's the energy of the divine connection, and it can't be otherwise. And if if you're following any other kind of path to do it, or any kind of, I don't know, incantation or something to make them come to you, I'm not saying these things aren't worthy to put that out to the universe. Definitely is. But find your soul energy, and that's the path where you'll find your twin flame on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you find that what you love and what is it, Angelina loves, is it in the same direction?
Well,
do you share that
spirituality is a main interest of the both of us, you know what I mean? And understanding telepathy and healing with words, healing with energy, vibrational energy, you know, so we're both passionate about that. You know, it's the angelic teachings that brought us together. You know, so that's what I'm saying. It's like when you follow that path, don't follow the path to be together. Follow your passion, and that was just healing, twin flame energy, ascension, and meditation, yoga, all of that different stuff is our passion. You know, so yeah. Like, and nothing can, and it's hard to explain really how perfect it is, and how perfect the obstacles to how I need to grow or how she needs to grow are actually perfect, you know? I mean, you know, you can say they're perfect in any moment for your growth, your circumstances, but as an actual relationship with the deepest of compassion and the deepest of transcendence within, you know, the four body system, it's hard to explain. It really is hard to explain. But that's only, I think I'm kind of fortunate because of the path that I'm on. You know what I mean? And having been given that information, but I think that's for twin flames as well, because
you've done the work as well. You've done the work on yourself to get there, so that's so important to acknowledge. Like, got to do the work, guys.
Yeah, that's the intro to my book. That's the intro to my book. You're stealing all my lines.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just absorbing your thoughts now. No, I'm only joking.
That's what it says.
It is a process, isn't it?
Yes, it's a process. And if you start with the
process, got to put the work in. I mean, I put the work in. Trust me.
Yeah.
I've turned up in my shirt. Worker's shirt.
Yeah, it's all good. But because the whole thing with relationships is, you know, you think of like the train track lines or the lines going off into the distance, two separate lines that eventually, you know, the destiny, the spirit is what connects. Is that if you're looking, there's an old martial arts saying, if you aim for the hills, you'll hit the ground. If you aim for the mountain, you'll get the hills. If you aim for the heavens, you'll get the mountain. So if you're focusing on finding your twin flame, you won't find it, because your direction is in the wrong. You need to find your bliss.
Yes.
You need to work on your love, depending on what you see as love, or your passions. And like you say, is that, I mean, all the most important people in my life have come from my biggest passions. And you know, when I've expressed my greatest passions, the next one's moved on, and the next thing is found. The next thing is found.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one thing I've learned, is that, you know, you want, you know, we talk about, you know, like raising the vibration, and people talk about all the negative things, and you know, like I say, Mystic, I feel your pain. You know, the density of London, but you want to change it. Make people smile. Make people laugh. You know.
You're creating your own energy around you, you know. And especially if you're in London and you can see a beacon, if you can see somebody that's exploring their passion, or that's beaming unconditional love.
Yeah, there's a lot of love in this city. Yeah, there's a lot of love in London. Yeah. You know, so many workshops, so many spiritual workshops, new age workshops, healing workshops, personal development. All the entrepreneurs are here. It's really good in some ways, but you know, when you go home, you do feel it can go a bit tense. So the balance.
But that's where you need your passion the most. That's where, you know, when you're, you know, because when you're at home, is like the authentic self. You know, what is the authentic self? The authentic self is, it doesn't matter whether there's 500 people watching or nobody watching, you are who you are. You know, there's one, you know, there's one thing. I mean, there's a work version of me and there's a non-work version of me, but even in the work, when the work version of me, at work they call me Kung Fu Panda. They know me as Kung Fu Panda, and because even when I'm pretending to be normal, there's still the quirkiness, there's still the fun, there's still the love. You know, they know I used to be a chef and a baker, and I do martial arts, so it's Kung Fu Panda. And I love, you know, oh, what a great name! I love the name Kung Fu Panda. And you know, that's the point. But you find your passion. So, you know, when you're at home, try to find those things that make you smile. Try to find things that will keep.
No, I do. Yeah. I do. It's just, I feel, you know, I'm empathic. I feel the energy in an environment, and I've lived abroad for up to 3 months at a time. So I you know, I have memories of what the energy is like abroad in Thailand or in Guatemala. You know, so it's, you know, you see it on Facebook and you start tuning. But that's fine, you know. I mean, like I said, London is great for a lot of things, and but it is interesting how a lot more people I know have left to live abroad than stayed. So I feel like I'm, you know, warrior at the moment, because I have been sensitive all my life. So it's great that I've strengthened myself in a dense environment.
Well, everything's moments and opportunities, and this moment is an opportunity. You know, the point is that there are opportunities there. It's like, you know, it's like that thing. There's a movie, Gwyneth Paltrow, called Sliding Doors, and you know, she missed the doors, and one reality happened.
Parallel universes.
Exactly. The multiverses and the goes in big thing of that. But so whatever's going on now, you know, there's a big thing. I'll relieve very quickly, and then we'll go back to Robbie. But there was a thing of in my life is that my partner, the partner who I changed my reality to be with, when we split up, he moved with my daughter. She moved to Irving, and there was a point where I had friends in Hove. I was actually at the time as a chef, but I still had connections in the baking world. I looked at a Sainsbury's in Hove, which Hove to Worthing, for those who don't know, it's not far away. And I was going to go. I had friends who had an apartment for me. I had connections down there with Tai Chi and Qigong, so I could settle that up, and I could still be near my daughter. And at the time, but me and my partner weren't getting on, and basically there was if you come down, I'm not going to let you see her anymore. And that was that. But the important thing is that if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't know Chris, which means I wouldn't know his teacher, who's my student, which is Baz Shilia. So already the big group of the people that I know now, and Colours the Yoke, the Chilias, who are another part of my great clan, that I wouldn't know them. I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing now. I might not even be doing this show because of that move. So everything that happens is opening up opportunities. So even at the darkest moment, that torch will always shine light, and you'll always find, you know, there'll always be light at the end of the tunnel. And that's the tunnel is the experience. It's you know, one of my little sayings: everyone and everything is your Sifu. So all this density is as much your Sifu as is all those wonderful memories you have of Thailand and everywhere else. Because I've been over 18 years since I've been in Thailand or China. A lot of that, but there's nothing to say it can't happen again. There's nothing to say. And that's the point. So anyway,
thank you. Sifu.
Joy, I'm saying it to myself. I'm saying, not just saying it to you, I'm saying it to me.
Yeah.
I'm saying it to anybody out there who's in that exact same position where they feel, I so much want to do this, but I've got the bills and I've got this and I've got that and I've got these debts. Yeah, I'm there too. And I'm slowly building up funding through Patreon. I'm slowly doing this and I'm slowly doing my other stuff, drip by drip, the waterway. So slowly. And at some point, being half Irish, half Russian, half Irish, at some point the old Irish saying, a broken clock is right twice a day. So at some point I will be right.
You'll be having your roadshow soon, I know it.
Exactly. Hey, but let's say, you're there with me, sister.
Yeah, roadshow. Love a roadshow on the road, definitely.
so that's the point. Don't give up. Don't give in. Keep on going. Find your passions in the meantime. And that's what I think.
Here with me,
definitely. Yeah, and you're being geared up now anyway because you're doing this kind of stuff. You're being geared up for ascension. I think the whole of mankind is expanding in all directions. Everybody is, and even just seeing the way that it's happening, the geopolitical landscape. It's always darkest before the dawn. There's everything's coming up to be cleared. It's actually it's a good thing the way that things are happening because it's indicative of the transformation. It's indicative of the dark side of our consciousness, if you like, being ready to be cleared. And so many lights being turned on just now. So many people just being ready to go. What is ascension? What does that mean? Not everybody's.
I think it's a really nice time now because you get to see the contrast as well before it fully goes over. So there's a real contrast at the moment with that yin and yang.
A very diverse. Exactly. The most exciting time that mankind's seen, I think.
I felt like it's like a movie. We're getting the popcorn out. We're like, it's like watching a movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
So much of the work before today, and then
you couldn't write that stuff.
Well,
you couldn't write it.
Me and Robbie are here, so here comes the entertainment. Here come the clowns.
Divine Heokas.
Here comes Loki and his twin brother. Get ready. Pick up the sword. Put the mask on.
Brilliant. Okay, I have a question about Metatron for Robbie. So for the person who out there who has just heard about Metatron through this show tonight, what is your advice? What are the 3 steps to maybe getting to know Metatron, or what would you say to that person who's just heard of Metatron but don't fully know who Metatron is?
Well, I mean, Metatron's in everybody, just like everything else. Like I was saying to Boggie, I look on these things as an office. Like the office of the Metatron, the office of the Christ, the office of the Krishna, the office of Michael. It's like these are all points that we can all access in our consciousness. With Metatron, it's to me it's the most powerful energy because it's all about the Merkaba. Metatron is about the Merkaba within the flower of life. So the flower of life is everything, and the Merkaba is the way to navigate through that everything. All of the multiverse can be accessed through your consciousness, through Metatron, through your Merkaba, and it's just another word for your divine energy. So, because you're asking,
I have the flower of life tattooed on my back.
Oh, I'm having one. I've got a Merkaba. With a.
That's nice. Wow.
I'll have the flower of life, right? But because you're asking, there's a free download of Metatron. This is the clarion call from the 14th to the 18th for 5 days on the Kindle. So that's the next step. Go and get yourself a copy and read it. Yeah. Because if you're on that vibration of readiness.
This is part 2, guys. We need to know about the download. It's still there.
It's on the links. It'll be on the links. It's already on Facebook. I've just put it on there. Every time you see my head down, it's already I've linked it on Facebook.
That's amazing. But it's amazing to know Metatrons within the flower of life. I mean, I know obviously it's sacred geometry, everything of life is in the flower of life, but to know specifically that 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 figure's there.
Well, because the macabre,
everything comes in. Sorry, I was going to say everything.
No, off you.
Everything comes in opposites, male, female. You did it yourself. Everything comes in opposites, male, female. Or active, passive, if you like. And Metatron is the masculine to the flower of life's feminine, if you like.
Okay.
It merges itself perfectly into the when you spin your Merkaba, you're joining them, because everybody, I mean, we're born as a certain gender, but we've all got masculine and feminine within us, and spiritually we're a mix of that energy. And in the center point at your heart, which is like Jesus says, the kingdom of God is within you, right? Or many different spiritual teachers have said the kingdom of God is within you. But that's what this is talking about, is that's how you access it, right? When you understand the technicalities of access, it's a real thing. It's not just feeling good about yourself. It's not just get yourself into calm. It's which is good. It's good to get yourself into calm. But when you get yourself into that place of really fully activating your Merkaba, you know all about it, and it's a very real experience. And that's the masculine and feminine within you joining, and then from the flower of life, because it's like, if you look at the flower of life, if you see a cell dividing, when you conceive a baby, it starts off from the egg and then it divides, and if you look at that, it's a flower of life. It's the actual essence of life, of our physical existence, is from that oneness. It divides into the flower of life, and the Merkaba is the way that you navigate through that, and that's everything. That's the whole multiverse. Because
you've got the tree of life inside the flower of life as well, haven't you? And is that part of that? Yeah,
it is part of that. Well, that's the Kabbalah's way of understanding how to do that as well. And there's certain divine things that you can activate within that as well. Actually, I have look at that. That is the absolute certainty and the power of God, healing and miracles. And this was when I first opened up with Metatron. It was like, learn the Kabbalah, learn how the tree of life, learn the different meditations and the names of God, and the things that have a certain spiritual frequency. It doesn't matter what tradition it is, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that Metatron is the only way into it. I mean, the flower of life it's in all the ancient traditions, everything. All the ancient, doesn't matter what the story is, doesn't matter where you come from in the world. The flower of life is at the center of everything, basically. So they
found the flower life is under the dragon's paw, the dragon dogs, or food dogs, as some people call them. That is, if you go to the Forbidden Temple in China and you actually see the proper ones, it is a 3D representation. Watch the movie Thrive. It actually shows it in there.
Right,
if you go to Egypt, even in Egypt, they actually find you'll find them in Egypt. In China, if you actually go to the deepest, darkest parts of China, there are pyramids. More and more people actually know about this now, because I keep telling everybody. But there are pyramids in China, and they've got flower life symbols on them. I'm looking for now
as well, actually, in the
That's amazing.
And there is I'm looking for the picture at this moment in time to actually post it as well. There's a tetrastahedron, which is basically the Merkaba. So it's a pyramid pointing down, pyramid pointing up. It's actually 64 pyramids, triangles, all forming a metal frame. Now, when you shine light directly on it, its shadow is the flower of life.
Beautiful, eh?
It's really spooky.
Amazing.
And it's because but the flower of life is the mother. It is the consciousness itself, and the Merkaba or Merkaba is the father. It needs your direction. It needs your
active participation. Yeah.
Indeed. And so therefore, when you have both together, you harmonize. It's hard, it's like a man and a woman. But the masculine and feminine energy within you harmonize. That's the whole point. So there's when I eventually find it, that I'll post it on our green room in the fan page, and I'll post it on
Get on the fan page group, everyone.
Perfect.
I was going to say, Robbie, see with Metatron, is Metatron one of the archangels? Because, there's Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael's a popular one that a lot of people know about, Archangel Gabriel for communication, Archangel Uriel. So, and I did get the feeling that, because I don't know much about Metatron, that Metatron was one of the archangels.
Yeah, that's what he built. He builds himself as that to me through my consciousness. There's quite a few different stories. Some people say that he was he was Enoch and he became perfect and he was made into archangel. But I think it's more like Enoch. Enoch ascended to the office of the Metatron. I think the Metatron's always been there because I think the flower of life has always been there. So the Merkaba's always been here. So I think these are eternal things that we kind of anthropomorphize, I think, to give us an understanding of it within our own human context. You know, to make us have a kind of understanding of how we call in another being that's like us to quantify something that's really unquantifiable, really, you know. But yes, one of the archangels, as you know, we see angel books or angel workshops or angel, the way that I do it, the way that it comes through me is much different.
Sorry, my cats, the two cats were fighting, so I just had to really fight them really badly. It's a sister and a brother. It's a sister and a brother. Here they are. What are you doing? It's their brother and sister, and they just had a really bad fight, so I just had to stop them while you were talking as well. Sorry.
Don't worry. Yeah. But yes, that's how he comes through to me. Yeah, but really powerful, source connection energy. I think that all the angels are just a higher part of your consciousness. It's a dilution of your soul energy. So you know how we quantify that energy is in we like with Michael, it's about truth, it's about cutting cords, it's about, you know, getting into your power. You know, with Gabriel, it can be about healing,
communication,
it can be about communication, about writing, you know, with the different holy books and stuff, and you know, Raphael, the healing green energy, the ways
green energy,
the green energy, the way that we, and Zadkiel, purification, and you know, the violet flame, and you know, all of this
ascension,
powerful ascension ways that we expand our energy. But these things are available.
Michael, the sword of light.
The sword of light, exactly. Sword of truth. Yeah. But Metatron, it's to me, it's the most masculine of energies, because it's to balance out to the great Shekinah, with the flower of life and feminine energy of you know, of the universe, of everything. You know?
Okay. So would you say the Metatron energy is like divine masculine, or is it divine masculine and divine feminine together?
The Merkaba in its activation is the divine masculine and the divine feminine, because the Metatron is the active part. You have to actively visualize it. You have to participate. That's what I'm saying. It has to be experiential. So it's masculine insofar as, if we say masculine and feminine, we should really say active and passive. I think masculine and feminine, it brings in a confusion. It's like, you know, women getting insulted that they're not part of it, but you know, it's not. It's about active. It's not about, you know, it's not about sexism. It's about active and passive. You know, but yes, the divine masculine or the divine doing, the divine participation. But because the flower of life, the divine feminine is always there. You know, that is the universe. You know, the divine mother is always there. You know, so so it's like when you activate, you're activating that divine active part of yourself into, and you come into completion. So then that's the you know, the infinity. That's you in that center place, and you can go anywhere from that place because your masculine, feminine are balanced, or your active, passive is balanced, and you are in that place of the creator. You don't become you become one with everything. You know, you open yourself up to the oneness of it all. You know.
Oh, that's amazing! Oh wow, I didn't even know. So it's amazing to learn. Definitely going to be reading your book and putting it into practice.
Well, tell all your friends. 5 days.
I'll tell everyone. They're like, you're on radio. You're meeting all these people. Yeah, definitely.
So the whole point, like with the flower of life, which is the pictures behind
Yeah.
is the flower of life.
Yeah.
The true representation, or in one of my meditations, there are 64 circles, spheres, and they are actually moving within themselves. So the flower of life is actually also another representation of the flower of life is the Torah, the Torridial field, is that it's actually folding within itself because it's constantly moving.
Yeah.
The Merkaba starts off starts off set, and that's the masculine, but the feminine of it is the action, the moving. So when the top, I've only got one unfortunately, but you've got one pyramid, and then one pyramid pointing down, one pyramid pointing up, and they're merged into each other. When they start spinning, they are then activating. So you have the stillness and you have the moving activating together, which is the merging. So you activate the Merkaba, which then in turn encourages and blooms the flower of life.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can we? So can we go on to talk about Ascension? You lot have probably mentioned it in the beginning, but you know, so many people I know are talking about Ascension. So many people are waking up to their divine purpose or life soul purpose. A lot of people last month in March were experiencing a lot of fire with the new moon in Aries, and a lot of people really started seeing the contrast of light and dark within their own friendship circles, and just realizing that other different people, we all have different values and principles and different agendas or motivations, and that was just so big last month. And
so powerful.
Yeah, so it'd be so cool to just kind of talk a little bit more about leading on to Ascension, really, because I think that's what's on everyone's minds at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's because everybody that is waking up. The 144,000. The expansion, as Metron puts it, the expansion of our DNA is into 12-strand DNA is 144,000. That's part of it. This is our physical energy, and as coming into the understanding of how to be breatharian, how to get the divine nectar. It doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to eat, but it just means that you don't have to eat. You can eat, you choose to eat or not. You know, it's a choice. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the physical manifestation of Ascension. We're moving into a place where we can visit the stars and not have to go to the loo. Because we're feeding off of the divine energy of the life. Yeah, but that's not everybody's at that point, but there's different points of ascension. Like, as from a societal point, we've ascended so much in the last even 40 years, 100 years. Look at how different life is socially, economically. It's a different place. And in the last 10 years, the communication, the ascension of mankind in a communication ways. Before, if you think about the UK,
everyone knows about manifesting now.
Yeah, exactly. And these buzzwords as well. You know, I'm doing these T-shirts. I did my Merkaba before it was trendy. You know.
Well, that makes you super trendy. That's just. No wonder you're going to Ibiza. You're getting invited to Ibiza.
It's good that these buzzwords are coming up, though, because it's giving people curiosity, and there's different levels of what ascension is. Even just their communication, even just that we can have this show. Like, say, even 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we had one channel, 2 channels, 3 channels. We had a certain process of information that we had to accept it, because that's all that we saw. There was no questioning of it because we didn't know how to question it. But in the last 10, 15 years, the proliferation of communication has been so expansive and is so pervasive in our society now. It would be crazy.
It's all over Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Facebook, Twitter, all these different communication. We are communicating more than we ever have. And that even though there's more disinformation and misinformation, there is more information. And if you come from your center place, from your spirit, you will be geared, you will be guided to the point of the right information for you. And that's part of Ascension as well. In fact, it states in the Galactic Council books, don't argue the validity of these books, because somebody who is not ready to even hear about, I mean, if I said breatharianism to my dad, he would have kicked my backside. He would have, you know, he would like, what are you talking about, you nonsense, you know? The cognitive, the cognitive dissonance that is there with these big concepts, it can only be assimilated when you really have raised your vibration, and it's like in these ascension films, like The Matrix, these things into our head that this is all an illusion, that we can move into a different. It doesn't have to be what the prescribed narrative has been put upon us. We don't have to accept it. We don't have to accept it anymore. And now we're like, no, well, I can create my own reality. I heard it from that guy on that thing that was doing that thing, and he told me, and I can. And now it's just coming into the. And
I'm going to find my boss tomorrow.
But you can if you believe that you really can with enough focus.
Yeah.
You know, it's about you getting to that point of the because manifestation comes in when you really are at that point of opening your Merkaba. Instant manifestation is not a ridiculous notion, you know.
No.
But you have to raise your vibration to that place and keep yourself.
So it just becomes natural.
Yeah.
So raise your vibration so it comes natural. It's not doesn't need to be anything you know, dramatic or anything.
Exactly.
Doesn't need to have apprehension around it. You just natural, you know.
We're all ascending to a certain degree, you know. We're all ascending to. I mean, you know, it says in the Galactic Council books as well about money and how we quantify money, and eventually our society will be moneyless. We won't have any need for it because vibrationally we will have learned all the lessons that we need to learn from it. But we haven't just now, and we can. So it's like, instead of being afraid of it or fearful of the system, dive in, you know, enjoy that energy while it's here. There will come a time where we will be so in resonance with each other, we will just give to each other anyway. Do you know what I mean? We won't have to have that form of communication. We won't even have to have words eventually. We're talking about Bashar, and Bashar talks about, because I've heard some of the channelings are talking about Bashar, and Bashar is Daralanka's future self, right? So
really? Oh my gosh! That's amazing.
Because Bashar is
he's really up there.
Exactly, because he is his future self. He talks about, when he says what we eat, he says we don't eat. We're in so much bliss. We're feeding off of cosmic energy. So from these, because these teachers, they're getting more and more mainstream, but they're not completely mainstream yet, because we talk about the 1%, right? We talk about the 1% when we talk about the Illuminati and the financial control and all that stuff. But we are actually the 1%. The people that are fully waking up are the 1% just now, because spiritually, with these kind of concepts, the whole of mankind are only just becoming ready to hear things like breatharianism or Merkaba, or, you know, these higher states of being. So we have to recognize that we're not here to change the world. We are here to change ourselves.
Yeah, but there are different people around the world that are their own case study for breatharianism or fruitarianism or all these different. They'll be the ones that go, "Hi guys, I'm the case study for it. I've been there and done it."
Exactly, and that's what it says.
Let's bring it all back to London. Because I know a few people trying it out in hot countries at the moment, and I'm sure, you know, it's all going to be brought back to colder climates and stuff. So.
There's a lady that's doing I did a dry fast on Monday. I was told by my guides I have to do it again on Monday. I have to go through the process myself, because it's, you know, me that channeled the books, and I did one day, and then I had a drink of water. I did 24 hours, and then I did a drink of water. But there's one of the people that like my book. She's on day 4 of a dry fast, and she's doing the breath. She's doing all the different stuff.
Wow.
I'm just waiting on all of these different things popping open, because the more that you open to the divine energy coming through, you just are given the words. You're given the words, you're given the inspiration, and you're given this transition that's here, that's happening. It's happening anyway, you know.
Yeah.
No matter.
You know, it's amazing to hear you say this, because last week, one of my friends, he's based over in South Africa, he messaged me going, "Hi, just been a bit tired, just had a fast, like water-free fast." And I thought, water-free fast? I was like, okay. Thinking, okay, You sound tired.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, wow, this is what he's doing.
Well, there's a
Got you out. Synchronicity came round.
Yeah. These are all abounding, and I think you will be in the right place at the right time, no matter what point you're at.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this morning I was reading an article online about the 144,000 light workers, and you've just said this today, and I was reading that this morning, like randomly, a random blog site I don't usually visit, that I just read and thought, wow, wouldn't that be amazing? Now you're just confirming, and I'm like, wow, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
And on the show last week, we had the Ascension with Polaris AB, and also we had Tim Wild, and the original founders of Atlantis were 144.
Wow, maybe we are all part of that.
144. 4 and 4 is 8. 8 is the infinity symbol. 8 is a power number. Add the 9. 9 is the greater number, the greater yang. It's very much a geometry. Mathematics is very much, the 144 is a very powerful set of numbers. So the whole fact that it started off at 144, and this time there's 2 more noughts at the end. 2 noughts, push them together, you've got another affinity. You've got double affinity. And so, but anyway, what do I know?
Yeah, because as Bashar was saying, that when we're going from Homo sapien to Homo galactica. Obviously, we need you, Robbie. We need these manuscripts about the light council. We're not going to know anything.
Well, they're out already, And when I did for the one that's free tomorrow, the Kindle one, it was a 79-day fast, and then for the other 3, I did 40-day, 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 and at the end of the 40-day fast for the last book, right, the Galactic Council book 2, on the night that I've completed the channelings, I saw 4 shooting stars. And I'd never seen shooting stars for a long time, and it was just like this, all of these synchronicities coming together, that just...
I hope you made a wish. Shooting star message.
Yeah, always.
I just wish all the time now,
What am I going to manifest now? Here we go. Put that one in my Merkaba.
That's so cool, though. That's really cool,
I think the cooler that it gets, though, the cooler that it actually gets, the cooler that when there's buzzwords that, because I remember years ago, Reiki was the thing. Reiki was the buzzword, and Reiki just means Holy Spirit. Reiki, it just means Holy Spirit. But that was a buzzword. That just everybody. It was everybody. It was ubiquitous. Everybody was just talking about Reiki. What's Reiki? Or do you have to be religious? No, you don't. Everybody's got it. Reiki. Mm-hmm. Now it's Merkaba. It's people going, what's a breatharian? And what are you talking about? Really, you're talking about disclosure. Oh, you're talking about aliens, aren't you? Oh no. Blank stare. What?
Yeah, but they're the same people that like Bashar.
yeah, exactly. But that's Bashar.
Bashar's accepted because he's channeled.
Yes, but I think because saying about the different traditions there are so many people. We are so powerful with the law of attraction. The different prophecies that we have had throughout the years, or that have been agreed upon by people for the Christ coming back, and the different prophecies of the Hopi and all these different things, they're agreements that we have bought into the symbolism of all that, and we expect that to happen. So as a collective, we're making all of these prophecies happen because that's our expectancy, our deep-rooted expectancy from the core belief of what we're doing. It's like the Kali Yuga from the Hindu side, the Kali Yuga ending, and or the Golden Age starting, or the Christ returning. All of these different powerful stories are our consciousness creating that within our reality, but it's all leading us to an expansion within ourselves of unconditional love. It all boils down to the flower of life and the Merkaba. It all boils down to, no matter what story it is or what tradition it is, it all boils down to our love and us becoming that love. not becoming that love because we're already that love, but as having the experience of being
waking
that love.
back up to it, realizing it again.
Yeah, choosing love over fear, you know, choosing the path of love, not fear, because it's one or the other, isn't it? There's no in between. It is either love or fear. There's no grey area. It is really absolute. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of contrast in the world, and so it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. No fence sitters.
I just want to very quickly say, hello and love you guys to the audience listening, especially on our chat. We've got Breezy Love. She's a YouTuber, the great Breezy. She's actually done. She actually sent me a private message. She said, "Oh my God, I've just done an angel meditation that yesterday, I think it was. And you know, you're talking about angels. Oh my God!" So I've put her.
That's good.
I put a link. It's in the green room for us guys. It's in the. It's in the fan page inbox. I've put it on. I've put it everywhere. It's everywhere. It's on the link. So have a look at that. Also, Brandy from a couple of shows ago, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I was there 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, she's also saying love you all, like codes, and Mark of applause. Oh, Brandy. So so it's all and it's like this thing, Robbie. Is you know we were sort of, you and I were talking about, because we're similar age, and you and I were talking about this like before the show. It's like a few years ago, we'd be locked up ourselves if you're openly talking about this stuff. Yeah. This show, you know, and again, you know, my great respect to both Michelle. Michelle's disappeared, so she's gone back into the ether. And also a guy called Brendan Skull. I know him as Skull Babylon. Brendan Cullington. I hope I got it right, Brendan. I was going to tell me off. He does Paradigm Shift. It was his show that made me go, well, okay, I've already been talking about this, maybe I should do it. And then Michelle nagging in my ear and pushing me along to the show, and you know, it's growing and building. I mean, you know, I want you back on. I'll say it publicly.
Yeah, we have to have. This is epic.
You're coming back, brother.
I'd love to. Has to be a recommendation.
I'd love to.
And you and I have got to meet. Look, chaos may happen. You and I got to meet, brother. You know, but you know, we're booked guest wise. We're booked all the way up to September now. You know, we got guests all the way up to September, and it's building.
Myself included.
Yeah, of course, yes. Yours is June.
Water Alchemy. Water Alchemy, with me.
Nice.
Gotta get in there somewhere.
I love you guys. So, you know, definitely book me up for September then. Like, we've got the healing. I was to mention that as well. The healing holiday. There's a healing holiday in Ibiza. The last week of July and the first week of August in Ibiza. Right. So go to imetron.com and healing holidays. There's a button.
Send us the link.
Have a look at my site, imetron.com, right?
Okay.
So that. We'll be back in August. So apart like September, book me up. Yeah, I would love to come back on. I love you guys. I think you're doing really well. I think it's great, just spreading the love, you know, and just spreading a bit of understanding with the people that have the passion for this, you know. So yeah, really, really important. And a shout out for me to all of my Facebook friends, all of the followers, all of the people that know the books already and that are going to know the books after you download the free link tomorrow. For $5. And the healing holidays, Adele Ferreira holidays. So, but have a look on imetron.com. You get the link through, and you'll see what that's all about. You know, and there's
that'll be awesome.
As well. Yeah, but
sounds like work we need to do this year. We're going to be, you know, behind if we don't do this kind of work this year. So I'm going to try my best to be there, definitely.
Yeah, so now I've got to see. Now I've got to do a bit of juggling and see if I can get there as well, because that could be very interesting. You and I meeting, that will be very interesting.
Well, everything is. I think everything is so synchronistic just now, and I think there is a wave of positivity that's coming up just now. And I think talking about the 144,000, I think the alarm's gone off. I think the people that are here that have this feeling. I posted the thing yesterday on.
Randomly stumbling across the blogs.
Yeah.
You know, like just.
I posted a thing on Light Workers of the World on Facebook yesterday that was, are you one of the 144,000? And there was so many people that are like, well, that's me. Just the characteristics of what you're an empath, you want something better about the world. You love people, but you kind of don't like them as well, because there is a schism there. There's a contradiction. You know that they could do much better, or love much better, or open their hearts much better, and there's an inherent knowledge within you. You've got an inherent understanding of philosophy or spirituality or holy books, or that take on unconditional love and all these different things, and I think that's what's happened just now. The 144,000 are going, bing, oh, wait a minute, I've got a job to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my
Can I just say, actually my friend Melissa Rizzi, she might be watching. It's Melissa Rizzi, she's from Brazil.
Wonderful.
That is exactly what happened to her last month. She's definitely like woken up, and I read the article you're talking about from her page.
Right.
So she must have found it and shared it to her.
Yeah.
So it's all really synchronistic, but it's amazing when you see your friends around you, and you're just like, wow, welcome.
Welcome home.
Hello, welcome. We're going off to Glastonbury at the end of the month now.
you do a Boggie and say, Robbie, you're late. Where have you been?
Yeah, wake up. You're waking up. Woo. No, it's good. It's really good.
Right,
and it really does happen like that.
Right. So, unfortunately, with the time has flown by, literally.
Are we done?
And Robbie, brother. Well, if you want to go for another 3 hours, man, I'm up for it. But is in the thing of the show, at least.
Of course. Well, I'll come back on again, Boggie. I'll come back on again. I have another interview tonight in San Francisco. So 5 o'clock in the morning for me, but I got invited on because I've got that. It's all synchronistic for
Have you got links for it? Send me the links. I'll share those
perfect
links.
It's getting higher radio in San Francisco, so it's for San Francisco and for America as well, so I'm on a late have to do the next shift anyway, so so maybe it's probably a good idea that I have a bit of rest anyway.
Maybe.
Wow, that's epic. That's amazing.
Yeah, but an absolute pleasure meeting you. Yeah,
cool. So, sorry, not Michelle. So Mystic, have you got any last words? Have you got anything else you want to ask?
No, it's been totally awesome. Can't wait to download your book. Can't wait to visit your website. It's imetron.com.
imetron.com.
And I really, really want to go to Ibiza and do your retreat. My brother, actually, he's a DJ in Ibiza. He lives there.
Well, this is more.
He lives there with his girlfriend. Hi, Kevin. I'm coming up to see you. But I mean, I've never been to Ibiza. But yeah, what a way to go. I definitely really feel the call in to do this kind of work with Macabre, connect to Metron, definitely learn more about what you're teaching. So I'm going to try my best to be there, definitely.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Yeah, it's all happening. Everything's happening. It's so powerful, eh? It's a great year.
Yeah, it's awesome. Maybe if Sifu Boggie goes, he can do a radio show there. We have the background of the sea and the beach.
There's also like Adele has. It's quite a fledgling business, but it's 2 week-long retreats. But she's having. There's this really good filmmaker that has come in beautiful stuff that he does, and he's going to be filming at it as well. So if it is a load of light workers that are there as well that are putting their stuff forward, it will be shining the light. It will be filming and really, you know, really well done cinematography as well, you know, for just to obviously promote the business as well, but to promote Ascension and healing, and you know, just it'll all be very exciting, you know. So yeah.
Oh, awesome! That's the place to be.
It sounds like we're being called, Troy Mystic. It sounds like we're being called. So
Yes.
I've got to pull my finger out. Apparently. Right.
Goals. Hashtag goals.
Hashtag Ibiza. Hashtag Ascension. Hashtag Angels. I've never done this. I did my first.
Hashtag Robbie, where are you?
How behind I am. I did my first hashtag yesterday. Hashtag Angels.
Your first hashtag. What was it?
No, somebody did hashtag something. I did hashtag back, and I was like, "Oh, that's the first time I've ever done that." That was what they're talking about. I don't know, to be honest, I don't really know how to use it. I know how to open my Merkaba, but I don't know how to do a hashtag, so that's the truth of the matter.
Well, let's just hope the hashtag was at the front and not at the end, otherwise it wouldn't work.
Ah, really? Well, I'm learning.
Yeah, it's like secret code language. Like when I post on Facebook, I'll say something, then all the hashtags are what I'm really thinking.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, and then people just go to the hashtags and go, right, we got it, Sharon. We know what you're thinking.
Yeah,
we know if this is serious or not, or if it's funny, or if it's a joke.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, so for show-wise, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. We went off on another awesome tangent. The questioner was not here to pull us back, but I don't care. It was been an awesome journey. We have talked about twin flames. We've talked about the macabre. We've talked about so much stuff. Metatron.
Ascension.
Ascension.
It's been a roller coaster ride.
I'll be for a treat.
Ibiza. We're going to Ibiza. But anyway, so for the show, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Next week we have Wendy Fry, and Wendy Fry will be talking about limiting self-beliefs. It's all energy and being true to yourself. So that will be an interesting show as well. So, guys, take care. Hope you enjoyed it. So it's goodbye from Sharon, the wonderful Mystic Shui.
Water alchemy, thank you.
It's goodbye from the fabulous, the awesome Robbie.
Hashtag thank you.
Hashtag mental. So take care. Bye for now.
Cheers.
Love.
Okay, guys.
Shen, Sifu Boggie, and the Way of Conscious Mindfulness, or Mindful Consciousness, or whichever one it is. Take care. Bye-bye.